Hello. This is the first in a series of videos on how to complete your research project. So first for this video, I want to show you where to find the files on Managebac, how to organize them on your laptop, how to use the research journal, how to make a research question, and then last, making your action plan for this project. So first, when you go into Managebac and you go into our classes, you'll see something like this, although yours is going to be a little bit different. Go into Ancient Cultures, and you can click our Stream and Resources. So you should have already downloaded the syllabus and the command terms. And remember, this is the folder for the books that can be used for your research project. This is the PowerPoint from the first day about what is history and why do we study it. Here's the Chapter 2 reading. And here's your project research journal. So this is what we're going to be using throughout the project. You can also see I've added the PowerPoints from the introduction to the research project about chronology and primary and secondary sources. So after you've finished downloading these things, you should put them in your IAS folder. I have mine here on my desktop. And inside here are the things that I've downloaded so far. I've got the syllabus, the What's History PowerPoint, and these other things. I would also make a folder for the research project and put anything important in there. So with that, that's where to find the files and how to organize them on your laptop. When you open the journal like we saw during class, put your name up top first. I also suggest renaming the file to something that includes your name and what the file is. This one's the research journal. That way it's easier for the teacher to sort and figure out what stuff is what. This we read in class, and you can review it. It's the instructions for the research project. It's also got how you will be marked for the different parts. This is about your web page. Here's information for criteria C3, citing your sources of how you need to put them. If it's a website, it should look like this. If it's a book, it should look like this. Here's the vocabulary we'll need to use to get a higher score on criteria A. Remember, the more you use accurately, the higher your score will be. The assessment criteria for how you'll be marked for criteria A. So for example, you can get a 5 or a 6 if you've used at least 10 vocabulary words correctly. And that you've also shown a substantial understanding about your civilization that you're researching. All right, here's the criteria for B. Identifying a research question is what we'll talk about today. Collecting information. Right, criteria C and criteria D. This, again, is more information about what you need to do, your instructions, and this page starts the research project. So here you've got our statement of inquiry. Exchanges and interactions in systems over time and space can create cultural changes in civilizations. Our task is to make a website in the end, although first we need to collect our information. Here's the instructions again, and the first step. Which civilization will you research? So these are a few suggestions. You can research your own if you want, as long as you tell me what it is first. I am going to choose one that's not on here, so I will do the Olmec civilization. Step 2, formulating a research question. This is criteria B1. So if you just put your research question, you'll be in the 1 or 2 range. And you can use these as a template or as an example. So if I were to use example A, what was ancient Rome culture and how did it compare to the culture of ancient China? Right, there's the example. Or you could be a little more specific. What were the scientific innovations of ancient Rome and how were they influenced by their culture? How does this compare with ancient China? All right, so I'm putting mine. What was the ancient Olmec culture, and how did it compare to ancient China? So if I leave my research question like this, I'll get a score of 1 or 2 for that mark band. To get a higher score, you need to explain why did you choose the research question, why is it important to study, and how does it connect to our key concepts and global context. If you need help with that, then ask during class. So, step 3, just like our UNESCO World Heritage Site, you need to evaluate, use, and cite a variety of sources. In this one, I'm going to ask that you have 2 primary sources and 2 secondary sources, and we'll look in class at what the difference between a primary and secondary source are. And here, again, is the information about your web page. So the last thing for this video is to create your action plan. In the last project, we had a lot of steps separated out with the due date at the end. In this one, there's just 3. So we have 2 sections that we need to work on: the religion and philosophy section, the scientific advancement and innovation section, and then your website should be finished. So the website needs to be finished by March 25th. So it's up to you to choose when will your religion and philosophy note section be done, and when will your scientific advancement and innovation section be done. So write those dates in. When you finish them, show me so I can put the signature here. This is how you'll get your score for criteria B2 following an action plan.